I'm gonna first start with using masking fluid. Maybe you have seen in other segments about how to use it, and but in case you have not, I'm just gonna briefly go over it very quickly, at least the way I use it. Everybody does a little bit different. The brand I love to use is Grumbacher's Masket, Liquid Frisket. That is my favorite brand because it's a little bit more liquidy. The other ones tend to be a little bit thicker and you can't get into the details quite as well. And I also want to mention that before you use it, they always say shake well before using. I personally prefer to stir it. The reason why you're shaking is if you see underneath the bottle, you see all this color agent here. So liquid frisket or masking fluid is essentially, you know, liquid glue or plastic. And it's colorless, so they add some color into it, so when you use it all over the painting and you need to remove it, you can see where you've actually used it. So, you know, I just need it to show a demo right now. I'm not going to really spend time mixing it, but you should. And since it is like liquid plastic, you can use, you know, something like a chopstick or a really fine nib of wood or something to use it, but I always like to use brush because it just gives you so much control, and you know, as a watercolor painter, you fall in love with using brushes, and you want to use one for this. But to protect your brush, you always if you have this liquid masket dry on your brush and you don't protect it, it will seep in the little fibers and hairs over here, as well as inside the metal casing. So eventually, like very, very quickly too, your brush won't hold its shape anymore and it doesn't have that tip anymore. So what you do is dip it into liquid soap first. It's just any standard liquid soap, soft soap, whatever brand you have. Before you dip, and saturate it with the soap before you dip it into the liquid frisket or masking fluid. It's like oil and water, they don't mix, and when you wash it, it will just wash away with all the soap. So you use liquid frisket or masking mainly to preserve your paper, the white of your paper, which is very important. So I'm just going to paint something silly here. You can do anything from like a big shape, a whole huge area, let's say. Just some fine lines. It can do whatever your normal painting can do. You can even splatter a little bit if you want. Some little fine dots. I accidentally did a big one over there. But of course, wait till it dries completely before you start painting.